Hi all, welcome to another video of Berk Performance, and today we have this BMW X5 back in the shop, which we already tuned with a stage 3 setup, which you can check out there, and we are going to fit a upgraded intake manifold for this car to reduce the IATs. Let's go and fit this bad boy. So first let me start with why we are upgrading the intake manifold for this BMW X5. So as you might already know from the other video, we upgraded the turbocharger of this car, we upgraded the high pressure fuel pump for this vehicle as well, just to maintain a little bit more stability and also the use of ethanol in later stadiums. But when you're upgrading a turbocharger, you're requesting also higher boost pressures of the vehicle, and if the cooling is not sufficient, the intake air temperatures will skyrocket, and that will lead into less power, less consistency and less safety for the vehicle. So we are not only tuning cars, what we are doing for real is also testing, developing some parts for different manufacturers. In this case, for Wagner Tuning, we are working in close proximity with Wagner Tuning to test, help fitting this part into the BMW X5 45e hybrid. And then in that way, we can also see the results in what kind of IAT decreases this part will lead. So what I already did is to make a data log of the vehicle, 3rd gear until 6th gear, on the road, on the highway, to see, okay, what are the intake air temperatures that are achieved with that specific setup. Then we are going to fit the intake manifold to the vehicle, hope that the ambient temperatures are approximately the same in the Netherlands, which are, because it's very consistent weather right now. And then we're going to do the same run again, so that you as a viewer and also us and Wagner Tuning themselves can see what kind of results we can achieve with this upgraded intake manifold. So with the upgraded charge cooler that is integrated into the intake manifold. You will see that data log at the side of the screen with the before and with the after, so you can see the results. But also, if I have some time, and I don't know because it's a little bit busy in the shop, I will also put it on the dyno again to see what kind of results in pure power it would mean when you're running the vehicle on the same software setup that we used before. So yeah, let's get cracking. We are going to fit the intake manifold right now to this vehicle, and I think the result, I already know that it will be good, but how good it will be, you'll see in this video. We have already deinstalled the intake manifold, on which it is a really pain in the ass to remove these coolant lines underneath the intake manifold. You have to remove 1, 2, and there's another side of this one as well. It's 3 clamps that are it's a very tight space to reach, to be honest. I just cut my hands and everything, but it's normal when removing these parts. But you can see this is a plastic part which BMW uses like on all their models. Wagner Tuning makes a beautiful handcrafted, you can also see it on the logo here, billet aluminium or aluminum as some would say, part for the intake manifold, which is an absolutely piece of engine. It just looks amazing, to be honest. It also is ready for port injection, as you can see here. These are the port injection ports for which you can use when you're not upgrading a high pressure fuel pump. You can just use this part, of course. It's a little bit more efficient and gives less stress to the original high pressure fuel pump. And also all the bolts that we are using, everything is different, because BMW uses a plastic part which has a different kind of screw setup. You cannot use them on this part, and Wagner Tuning provides all the parts. What I also want to say is that we are an exclusive partner right now for this specific part for the BMW X5. So if you are interested in this part after seeing the results on this video, you can contact us, we can ship it out to you, and then you can also enjoy the upgraded part on your BMW X5 B58. So there we go. We have successfully installed the intake manifold to the vehicle. Now the bleeding procedure is running, which I will show you right now. So we started the service procedure from the inside of the vehicle. As you can see, it just says it in Dutch, service function started. And I just turned on the beams, the high beams. It's not necessary, of course. And here you can see it is just automatically sucking everything in and vacuuming the coolant system. So bleeding the coolant for the intake manifold. This is a low temp and this is the high temp. And yeah, when this is finished and finalized, we can have a drive with the vehicle and compare the data with each other. But look at this beauty. Wow, this looks so good. So, the BMW X5 dyno results. We measured this car already and you can see the video with the dyno graph in the link above in the previous video. But what does it necessarily mean with regards to the power numbers on the dyno? The blue line is when the intercooler was stock. So the stock intake manifold with the stock intercooler charge air cooler in place. And it was doing approximately, what was it, 668 horsepower and 900 something, what was it, 924 Newton meters of torque. With the upgrade intercooler, you can clearly see the red line because the IATs are lower. The car is able to make more timing at an earlier stage and also keep the timing at the top of the dyno graph, as you can see here. It was performing around 960 Newton meters of torque. You know, I also have another map which was producing 1000 Newton meters, but it's not necessary, so we lowered it down. And at the top, it was doing 703 horsepower. 703. And one more thing, when these cars achieve their red line too soon, they will limit a little bit of power on the dyno. I am really increasing the brake on the dyno a lot to have not that scenario happening at the end. And that's also the little dip that you can see here, because it was holding back its power only because of the dyno mode that the car is doing. But to be honest, if it was running really well, it would do even more. I think it should be doing like 710, 720 horsepower. But you can clearly see not only the peak power, over the whole rev range, it is producing a lot more, and it is able to keep that power consistently because the air intake temperatures are lower. So, is it a good investment? Hell yeah, it is. And you will see that with the draggy runs as well.
60, 100, 100. 200.
So what am I going to do? I am right now sitting in the BMW X5 and I am going to make a data log of this vehicle with regards to the intake air temperatures before fitting the Wagner intake manifold and after. I am going to try and be very consistent with the measurement. I'm going to use the same road. I hope the outside, the ambient temperature is also approximately the same. It's around 11 degrees right now. And I'm going to make a long pull, like start in third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, maybe even sixth gear. And then we can see what the IATs are doing for this vehicle with the same setup that we made for the car with regards to the stage 3 tuning. But in the data, I will try and compare these data points with you after this video, of course, after this section. I'll not be able to show you the values directly because I'm also making the data log with my iPhone as well as I'm filming with the iPhone. So yeah, let's see what kind of influence, like positive influence, I hope, the intake manifold will make. So what I want to show you are the results with regards to data and what it means for the vehicle itself. Let's start with the circumstances. So the left side is the stock intercooler. I will just call it intercooler, stock intercooler, and the right side is the upgrade intercooler. On both scenarios, I started around 30 kilometers per hour with the data logging run. The yellow line shows you the throttle that I applied, so it's just full throttle. Apart from the gear shifts, then it's closing the throttle, that's normal. And the ambient temperature, so the outside temperature was 12.5 degrees outside, and this was one day after each other. So this one is stock. As you can see, 30 kph, ambient temperature 12.5, the IAT is 38 degrees to start with already. Then we floored the car, and then until the end, it was doing 205 kilometers per hour. The ambient temperature is the same, of course, it's the same run. And the IAT skyrocketed to 62 degrees, which is a lot. Now let's compare it to the upgrade intercooler. As you can see, I start around the same speed, so 29 kilometers per hour. It's even warmer outside, it's 2 degrees hotter outside, and the IAT temp starts at 26 degrees, so that's already 10 degrees lower than the stock intercooler when starting the data log, the run itself. We floored the car until the end, reached 205 kilometers per hour here. The IAT was stable at 28 degrees. So from 30 kph until 205 kph, the upgrade intercooler just increased by 2 degrees, which is absolutely nothing. And the stock intercooler just skyrocketed until, I don't know, what was it, 62 or something like that. It's almost doubled the IAT when you're running the stock intercooler. And what does it mean? Can you show one more thing? That means that when you have the timing of the vehicle, so that is the amount of timing that you're requesting from the vehicle, it will reduce the timing request when the IATs are skyrocketing. I will just take fifth gear, the end of fifth gear here. You can see at the end of the fifth gear at 6,600 RPM, it is only requesting 5.6 degrees of timing. The higher this number, the higher the performance output of the vehicle will be. But above 35 degrees IAT, it will already lower the timing request, and above 40, 50, or I don't know the exact number anymore, but above 60 especially, it will reduce timing significantly. When you're going to the other graph, so as for timing, you can see fifth gear, 6,600 RPM. It is requesting 11 degrees of timing. So a quick math, let's say that 1 degree of timing makes like maybe 15, 20 horsepower of difference. This is 6 times 10, so it's like 60 horsepower difference what it can make in a run like this. It's not really representable what I'm saying right now, so it's a little bit more theoretical, but the dyno graph, it will show the end results and give a conclusive answer to this one. But where it makes the real difference is the 100 to 200 one. We measured the car with the stock intercooler at 9.35 seconds, I think it was, 100 to 200, but with a very declining slope. So it was around 9.5 seconds when running consistently. The upgrade intercooler consistently was running 9.0 something. So it is almost a half a second difference with regards to the stock intercooler. So yeah, I think this is enough data to back up everything that we did to this vehicle. And if you want more and safe power from your B58, also for the M340i, fit this intercooler to the car because it will only benefit you in a great way.